Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. What's going on, guys? What's going on? We have another session going on in the markets today. It's Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. So, what did we see in the markets yesterday? SPY was just, continuous fucking rampage up to the, I think just below 291, which was obviously a solid bullish run. Continuation from last week. Bulls definitely in control yesterday morning. But obviously when it ran into its resistance, it pulled back quite hard and had some action obviously after hours last night as well. But it took a lot of securities with it to the top and then fade a lot down as well. So it's gonna be tricky going into the session today. We're gonna see some of these securities were elevated anyway, and the market obviously has been rallying for the past week and a half. So some securities probably weren't as deserving to be at the elevated prices they were trading at. So now we're going to see some possible retracements to some more realistic levels. And there's some backsides that been working quite nicely for some securities we have on a watch list. But let's get into it. So we got 8 going in. Start up. We're going to kick it off at INCY. INCY obviously has down a little over 4 points, almost 5%. And just closed really weak. So this is just by default on day 2 continuation. We like it to the 75 conservative level, just above the 200 day on the daily. So again, definitely looks pretty strong, weak, strong, whatever you want to say, to that level. You might see some market maker action in the morning, collecting some shares before they dumping it back onto the marketplace. So look for that. And once that happens, once it does dip below VWAP, definitely a great opportunity to mitigate risk to the downside. Footlocker's just still getting hit, after its dump out a couple weeks back, sorry, and just couldn't get that curl back, couldn't gain any traction, right? So showing a little bit of weakness, actually a lot of weakness yesterday, closing not too much, almost a point down to the downside, but it was weak nonetheless. It was never strong at all. So it's a warning flag, that these guys' sales are still hurt across the board. We like to the 40, and I think and beyond, to be honest with you. 229 for an ATR is not the biggest, but at the end of the day, we're going to keep an eye on this thing, maybe for a solid swing. But until obviously, it shows a very strong sentiment overall to the upside. We like it to the downside. ARWR, this thing obviously is running. It's definitely not a weak company, but by any means. But shows some interesting behavior yesterday in the market technically. So we definitely like this. I'm going to see if we can ride this thing to the downside, retrace a little bit of maybe a couple points to downside. So we're going to see how it's going to perform in the morning. This one's going to be on watch. Not too convicted with this one yet, but we're going to see what's going to happen. Next up, PLAN. We like the inverted hammer on the daily. Closed very weak. So 45 is our target. And again, this is one of these that's been run as well. So we're gonna see when the exhaustion is in and see if it's gonna put that curl in lower highs and lower lows continuous going into the summer session. We definitely like this thing to the downside. MDB was a beautiful one. We've liked this thing to the upside, and now we've had some nice success to the backside, and it's possible that this thing's going to start giving us some of those plays to the downside. So 160 is our target. It's going to continue to this fade because when it moves very nicely. But again, with this one, you definitely got to respect your stops very diligently. So keep a close eye on this thing and enjoy it if it does trade below VWAP at any moment. AYX, another one of these things. We like the daily inverted hammer. It had this kind of same, exactly. If you look at it, Friday and Monday, almost identical charts, right? So this just could be a step to continue a higher level. Definitely hard to say, but again, if it shows any weakness like it showed on Friday late morning and then yesterday late morning as well, it was just right on lunchtime. We'll continue to enjoy that thing. So our target is 90. Domo's putting that curl in, right? Lower highs and lower lows. So definitely like this thing daily. We like the inverted hammer. 30 is going to be our target. So we're going to keep an eye on this thing. Again, as always, never going to touch this thing in the morning. But if once the boys are out, once market makers are done playing around and wants to start, obviously unloading shares to the boys, then we'll step in and enjoy the ride and mitigate risk properly. ZM is, strong. Look, it's a strong security. Obviously, it's going to continue running. We're going to see behavior. Just this thing's on watch. Whether we don't have a sentiment whether it's going to go up or down, but we feel it's going to make some strong moves. Pulling back to VWAP and staying pretty close to VWAP, it could, argument's sake, seeing it to the downside, but I'm not sure that's the case right now. So we're going to see if we can mitigate risk, possibly the upside if it holds VWAP tomorrow or this morning. And, obviously we can enjoy this thing if it moves, because it moves quite nicely. But, again, if it wants to start trading below VWAP, then we'll mitigate risk VWAP on the downside. But that's what we got going on, guys. We got 8 in this session, and, it's, getting hot. Summer's here, so but there's still some strong moves to the upside and downside. So Uber Uber sold off quite nicely yesterday as well. So there's a lot of opportunities. So stay diligent with your stops, guys. Obviously, if you want to know how we're doing it, how we're picking these stocks, how we're trading these watch lists, any other questions, come check out the site at thestreettrading.com. We'll sort you out on the 90-day course and get you ready to go. All right, guys, have a great day in the market. Stay diligent as always with your stops. Be patient with your setups. All right, guys, have a good one.